We are now joined by assistant coach Dan Nielson on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Dan, welcome back to Championship Tuesday, man.
I love it. I'm glad I'm talking to you today because it means we're still playing.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Good thing.
You have a rematch with San Francisco, the team you saw last year, but you were the 5 seed last year, and they were the 6 seed. Much like last year, San Francisco the 6 seed again this time around, but you're the top seed. How do you slow down a team that is very upset-minded right now?
You know, we just got done watching film and talking to them, and there's no big secret other than just kind of sticking to our principles. That's all, Coach Judkins are just talking about it and sticking to principles and playing them how we normally do, not trying to do anything different and being a little sharper. We played them in Provo. We were kind of sleepwalking through the first 3 quarters and finally woke up, luckily. And we knew when they left that game that they were getting hot again and kind of expected them to go on a run. And then a few weeks later, here they are in the championship game. So we know we're going to have our hands full today.
It's a rematch of last year's championship game, but you were a 5 seed. Now you're the 1 seed. How, other than that, how is it maybe similar or different than last year's title game?
I think the one difference is I think this year we're playing with a little bit more confidence. I think we go into games expecting to win, and that's no disrespect to who we play, but our girls have kind of a air of confidence about them. And yesterday watching St. Mary's and San Francisco, they're both great teams, but if you ask any of the girls who they'd rather play, they all would have said they didn't really care. They feel confident kind of playing everybody, and I think that comes from when you're the 1 seed, that means you've won the conference, and so I think they feel comfortable playing anybody. Compared to last year, we knew we had to play better than what we had been playing, so I think that's probably the biggest difference.
What's at stake for your team today in terms of what you want to accomplish, not just in the West Coast Conference, but from a national standpoint?
I think the biggest thing is obviously, you want to be playing well going into the NCAA tournament. I think we right now, win or lose, should get in as at least an at-large. But obviously, you'd like to win, and if we win today, it'll help our seeding, I think, to be as high as possible. And obviously, the whole goal is to get to the NCAA tournament, win games in the NCAA tournament. And to do that, you want to give yourself the best possible chance to win. And so the lower the seed you are, I guess higher the seed you are, if we can get to a 5 or 6, then the more likelihood you have to win those first couple games than, say, if you're a 8 or 9 or 10 or above. So we're playing for a lot today, and the girls, I think, understand that. We've kind of told that to them, so hopefully they're ready to roll.
The women's NCAA tournament is a little different than the men in that there are home sites for some teams. Can you explain the scenario that it would have to play out to, say, host in Provo for the NCAA tournament for you guys?
Well, the women's side, what they do is they take the top 4 seeds in each region, and they get to host the first 2 rounds, actually. So you could play 2 home games, essentially. Right now, with where we sit and kind of the things I've seen and kind of how the committee typically does things, I think probably our ceiling is a 5, whether that's right or wrong. It's not for me to say, but just looking at how things typically have gone in the past, you look at, say, Gonzaga's really good years or other mid-majors really good years, and they usually go no higher than a 5 or a 6. So I think realistically that's where we would fall if we were to win today. But you never know if something crazy happened. We'd love to do it. I do know for us it could be a little complicated with the Provo City Center Temple celebration is on the 19th, which is when the first round would be. So I'm not sure what we'd do with that, but hey, I'm sure we'd find a way if we somehow got lucky and got a 4 seed. So.
BYU women's basketball assistant coach Dan Nielson with us on BYU Sports Nation. It's Championship Tuesday at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. Last time you played San Francisco, Dan, I'm sure you remember this, Lexi Rydalch hit a half-court shot. So is that part of the game plan today?
Well, I'm going to pray it's not. I don't know if my heart can take another game like that. No, let's pray it's not. And if it is for some reason and we have the same amount of time, we'll tell Lexi just to take a couple more dribbles so it's not quite so dramatic. Since last time she had 3 seconds left when she shot it. But, every day at the end of practice, Jerem saw the other day we're practicing their half-court shots at the end. Jerem was 1 for 1 and walked off the court, so he knows what it's like.
Yeah, if you need any coaching tips, just let me know. Lexi and I all we do is make half-court shots.
We got you on speed dial, so we'll be ready to roll.
What's the mood of the team right now after so much success? You're only, 10 days removed from that Gonzaga loss, but it doesn't seem like it's affected you guys. Now you're playing for a title today.
Yeah, I think it's the really, really special thing about this team is they're resilient. Like I said earlier, they expect to win, and we were really disappointed after that Gonzaga game and didn't feel like we played our kind of basketball. But the girls, bounced back, and it's the same thing. They expect to win every game. And last night after we won, Santa Clara is a great team. They're a tough team, and got in the locker room and celebrated for a couple minutes, and they all wanted to stay and watch the whole next game and get ready. And I think that says a lot about their character and their focus. They didn't want to settle just for a conference championship. They want to win the tournament. They want to win games in the NCAA tournament, and so it's been a fun team to coach because of that. They're not settling for what they've already achieved. They want to get more. So it's been a really fun thing with this group.
The BYU women playing in their 4th conference tournament title game in 5 years. A win today would give them 3 conference tournament titles in those 5 years, and you already picked up the first regular season title just a few weeks ago. So let's say, Dan, BYU wins today and you get that 3rd conference tournament title. Could you officially say that BYU is the new power in the West Coast Conference on the women's side?
Oh, wow. You guys are trying to get me in trouble here. No, I mean, it does say a lot about the girls on this team and how much they prepare and how much they work in the offseason. They've earned every one of those championships. So one thing I will say with our conference, I would never say we're some dominant power because, Gonzaga is always going to be there and all these other teams are coming up, and Santa Clara is only going to get better. They don't have anybody graduating. San Diego's only going to get better, and that's the cool thing about our conference this year is, I think we ended up number 8 or 9 in the conference RPI, and we got 6 teams in the top 100, and it's a tough conference, and so I wouldn't say we're necessarily the dominant force, but on the flip side, winning the conference this year by 2 games also, I think, says a lot about how good we are right now. And hopefully we can keep it going. I'll let you guys say we're the dominant force so I don't get in trouble.
Okay, yeah, we'll say it. The fact that you trailed even at home by double figures to Gonzaga and San Francisco and had to come back and win those games makes it so you probably have more the attention of the girls because, hey, you had to make a great comeback to come back in some of those games, including against this team you're going to play today, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, watching film yesterday, last night, and then a little bit this morning, reminding the girls we're down 14 in that game with 7 minutes to go. And obviously we don't want to be in that situation again, but San Francisco didn't have that lead by accident. They're a really good team, and Taylor Proctor's an unbelievable player. And if we're not ready to go, we will be in the same situation. So hopefully the team that showed up yesterday will show up and we'll be able to not have to come back from 14 down with 7 to go. So.
We're doing the halftime show on BYU Radio today. Is there anything you want us to mention just right now? Because we haven't prepped anything.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they've given us that responsibility. So
we're excited, but we don't know what to do.
Then it sounds like whatever you want to talk about. I mean,
Can we make up stuff that you said? Like
absolutely.
Dan Nielson said this.
Dan Nielson said that BYU is the power in the West Coast Conference.
Attribute. Find the most ridiculous statement you can come up with and attribute it to me, and let's see what happens on Twitter. Maybe make the Gonzaga fans mad and see what they say.
I've already given you a technical foul this year, so I might as well do some other stuff.
Hey, when I get a technical, I like to think that I earned it, so I'll let Melinda keep that one.
Dan, BYU and San Francisco tip off in roughly 3.5 hours from now local time. What are the hours like leading up to a championship game? What are you doing? What conversations are you having? Walk us through kind of what the girls and the coaches are doing leading up to the game.
So we got up this morning. We watched film. The girls are eating breakfast right now. And then when I get off the phone here, I'm going to go take them through their in-out of bounds plays, make sure we're ready for those, how we want to guard them. Jeff, our trainer, will get them taped and kind of start getting prepped, ready to go, and head over to the arena. And then it's Coach Judkin's least favorite time, the hour before the game, when he just wants the game to start. And goes through about 20 pieces of gum, but hopefully we'll get in there safely. And
what's his go-to? Right. Yeah, what's his go-to gum flavor?
I'd like to think he had one, but I think he just takes like a handful from our trainer. Jeff always supplies us with gum, and he usually just takes a big handful and puts it in his pocket and rotates it about every 2 minutes, it feels like. So
we need to get Juddy some big league chew.
Yeah. With a baseball card.
That would be some great optics for a BYU coach pulling something out of a pouch and putting it in his lip.
Yeah, so. That would look great. Lenny Dykstra would be a huge fan of that.
Oh, man. Dan, great to talk to you. Follow him at Dan_Nielson on Twitter. Good luck in the championship game today.